Hello and welcome to another episode of MacStories Unwind. I'm John Voorhees, and with me is Federico Fetici. Hey, Federico.
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm doing great. We have a couple of fun topics today. Two very different topics before we get to picks. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is because it's right on my mind. The last couple of days, you and I have been a little preoccupied, distracted, because we've been working on something that I'm pretty sure nobody has noticed unless we've told them, which is we have significantly updated and upgraded the backend infrastructure for MacStories.net. I mean, it couldn't be more new, could it?
It looks the same, but it's all new, actually. So
right.
Yeah,
it's all under the hood.
Yeah, MacStories has been running for 13 years on a single Mac Mini. Hosted before it used to be called the Mac Mini Colo, now it's called Mac Stadium. And MacStories has been running on that single Mac Mini server in Las Vegas for 13 years.
And it's an Intel-based i7 processor. I just looked. It's a late 2012 Mac Mini.
So all the MacStories things you've seen in the last 13 years were being hosted and were being served by that single Mac Mini. And now, through its ups and downs, like we've been through a lot, obviously, with MacStories, the things we've done, but we decided a few months ago that it was time to really get the website back on track in terms of a modern technological foundation based on WordPress, as always. But it was basically like a code base from 13 years ago. And we knew that it was going to be a lot of work. So we've been working with the new developer to sort of get everything up to speed, change servers, move to a modern infrastructure that could scale up and down based on traffic, implement modern DNS techniques, implement modern caching techniques, implement modern protections for bots and things like that. So basically, MacStories looks the same, but under the hood, the whole thing is brand new. So the WordPress installation, all of the plugins that we use, the entire infrastructure is new. It looks the same, but it was a massive migration for this old code from 13 years ago, based on like old CSS things, old build systems. Like it was a lot of work, and it was a massive effort that thankfully we had to tweak a few things while we were pushing things live, but by and large, hopefully the site should be faster than before. It should work better with modern browsers, with modern web browser extensions and plugins and things like that. And this foundation allows us to finally build new things on top of it. Because we've been delaying like actually doing new stuff on MacStories because we didn't want to build on top of an old foundation. Now we have a new one, and now it looks the same, but this allows us to finally implement things that we've been planning for the past 5 years or so.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a monumental undertaking because not only was the code base old, I mean, there was code in there that was designed to deal with things that older browsers weren't able to do, but now modern browsers have built right into them. So, there's things that we could just throw out. There was just updating for security and other reasons, all the different plugins and systems we use. It's all hosted in the cloud now, which gives us a lot of scalability.
Before it was running on macOS, now it's running on Linux. So
it is. It's the year of Linux, Federico.
It's running
finally.
Finally, it's the year of Linux on MacStories. I mean, it's running on Ubuntu. I think it's the what we're using, the distro that we're using. So yeah, it's running on a cloud Linux server that allows us to scale up and down based on traffic and things like all the things that we take for granted on modern infrastructures, but we couldn't because we were running again on a single Intel i7 Mac Mini from 13 years ago. So
right. Yeah. And 16 years of content moved over, which is somewhere in the order of magnitude of 15 to 20,000 articles, somewhere in that range. So just doing that and crossing your fingers and hoping it goes well. It was a little scary, but it's finished. And we're really happy about it because even though it may look the same and just be a tad faster, it really does mean that we can start working on new projects for the rest of this year and beyond then. So we're pretty excited.
It's 17,000 articles that we moved. the database, plus all the pages, all the authors, all the other stuff, but 17,000 articles, of which 9,605, soon to be 6 as we're recording this, are mine. So
I am coming for you. My goal in life is to beat you and get ahead of you, Federico. I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think you're so far ahead. There's no possible way anybody could catch you.
I kind of want to take a look. Where are you? So you are at 3,000, my man. Yeah, you still have a ways to go.
I'm a third of the way there after 10 years. So that's gonna take a few more years to catch up to. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's it for our little mini update on the tech stack. I wanted to shout out to Wilmington, North Carolina, because you and I have we've talked about Wilmington an awful lot for a show, but that's where One Tree Hill was produced, as well as Dawson's Creek. And those are two shows that you've talked about on Unwind before. They're two of your favorites. And Jennifer and I went there for a long weekend last weekend. We went Friday through Sunday. It was unbearably hot. We've got a heat wave in the U.S. right now. The first day, it was only in the low 90s, which is hot, but not like something we couldn't normally tolerate. But it was like 95% humidity. So it was unbelievably hot. We were really sweaty, but we enjoyed the first day. We walked around the town, saw a lot of the sights from those shows, Federico. We saw Karen's Cafe. We saw some of the restaurants where things were filmed. We saw there's a big house with big pillars in front of it called the Greystone, which features in one of those shows that we saw driving out of town. And then we spent a day at the beach at a place called, what was it called? Fort Fisher, which is actually, there's an active Air Force, I believe it is, base in that town. But at the end of this spit of land, it's one of the outer banks of North Carolina, which is like a chain of islands that kind of protect the coast. There is a fantastic beach. And if you watch a brand new show on Netflix, which I've just started, it's not my recommendation for this week, but I have a feeling it probably will be in the coming weeks. It's a new Netflix series called Waterfront. And it's about a rich family that owns fisheries and restaurants and things in a coastal town, which is actually, in fact, filmed in Wilmington. And one of the very opening scenes is that one of their fishing boats gets washed up on shore. And the beach where it washes up happens to be the beach that I spent my Saturday afternoon at, because when they pull back, you can see some landmarks like an aquarium that's nearby. And it was literally right there where we went, which was a really nice beach because there's like no jellyfish, no seaweed, just really wide, nice sand, and a lot of people taking it easy by the water.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
So you've been to the place where all my favorite TV shows are made.
So I'm telling you, Federico, they have good food down there too. There's so many good. We went to some really nice restaurants.
Nice.
That was the first day. We kind of ate our way through the first day. And then the second day was a beach day. And then the third day, we just hung around a little bit and then drove home. So
that's cool. Yeah. Well done. Okay. So I have a couple of picks for you this week. Two short and easy ones. The first one is the new album by Youngblood. I think I mentioned Youngblood before. With this new album, which is called Idols, he's gone like full on Britpop. So this is the kind of album that. This is the kind of album with I mean, it's a Britpop, Brit rock album. Tons of, like, you can spot all of the influences from Blur to Oasis to early Coldplay. You have it all in this record. I think it's very enjoyable. I think I am now at this point in my life, and it's quite funny, where for a younger artist like Youngblood, I don't know, is Youngblood like is like 25 or something, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm at a point where I can tell where a young artist got their influences in music, right? So, because I've lived both eras, right? There's a song on the record that totally sounds like Parklife, for example. Like, you can tell that it sounds exactly like Parklife from Blur. Not that it's a ripoff, but you can hear some of the sonic influences on that song,
Sure.
and some of the way that he almost raps instead of singing, pretty much like Damon Albarn in Park Life. And I think it's funny. Or there's like the opening of Zombie, which is one of the better songs on the record. Excellent video, by the way, for Zombie, starting Florence Pugh, which is a really heavy but beautiful video. Great song, but it totally starts with a guitar riff that reminds me of any song from Parachutes, from the debut Coldplay record from the year 2000. So like it's fun to peel back and sort of understand where a young artist today gets their influences in terms of music. But Idol's really enjoyable. I really like Zombie, Ghosts. It's an easy record, goes down in like 40 minutes. Ghosts is especially impressive because it's got this crescendo and then this coda at the end of the song that is really quite unique. Also kind of reminds me of U2 in places. So a bunch of different influences in this album. Then I also wanted to recommend season 3 of And Just Like That, which is the non-sequel to Sex and the City. I have mentioned And Just Like That before here on Unwind. If you like Sex and the City, you're probably going to enjoy this one. Obviously, the whole gang, except Samantha, since the actress didn't want to join for the reboot of Sex and the City. The whole gang is older, and so all the women now deal with older women stuff, like what it means to have a family, what it means to balance love life and career, what it means to be, to live in a more diverse society, for example, in a more diverse workplace, like more adult themes than necessarily just a group of young women in their mid-20s, going out in New York and having fun. I think what I like about this season, which I like more than season 2 so far, is they're diving deeper into the long-distance relationship between Carrie and Aiden. Aiden living in Virginia in a farm because he needs to be close to his family and he needs to be close to his younger son who has ADHD and has been doing a bunch of ugly things, and he just want to make sure that he's there for his kids. And Carrie is obviously living in New York, and then there's like long distance. It's one of the many tropes of this like rom-com type TV show, but it's enjoyable. And I think if you like Sex and the City, which we watched, me and Sylvia, a couple of times, the first time during COVID, and then we did a full-on rewatch. You can watch Sex and the City, I believe it was upgraded in 4K on Max. Yeah, and we are also watching this on Max. It's streaming on Max. So season 3 ongoing. And I'm going to leave just a little teaser because in just a few days, we will get season 4 of The Bear. And I absolutely cannot wait because of how season 3 of The Bear ended with this cliffhanger. And I want to see what happens with The Bear and the restaurant that they now have. So we'll see. I'm excited about that. I'm probably going to talk about it. I think it's debuting this week, so I'll probably talk about it next week.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I should check out The Bear. I bounced off season 1. I think Jennifer kind of bounced off of it, and we just kind of abandoned it.
It can be slow in places. I don't know. I recognize that it's not for everybody. It's got its own rhythm. But if you like, Michelin star level cuisine and cooking and drama and family drama, it's a good show.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. What little of it I saw, I'm gonna maybe pick it up again this summer. So I have a movie that is on HBO called Mountainhead. This came out about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it is written and directed by Jesse Armstrong, who is the creator of Succession. And there's a lot of common DNA with that show, with Mountainhead. It's about a group of tech billionaires who get together in the mountains for a weekend retreat. And it's really kind of a dark comedy more than anything else, which, there's an awful lot of awful stuff going on in the world thanks to tech billionaires. So it's kind of fun to watch them watch a dark comedy about it, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, one of the guys, he has a social media network, and his social media network they add an AI feature to it, and it starts spreading misinformation around the world and causing all sorts of riots and other horrible things around the world. And his other friend has his own AI startup that can do content moderation. And so he's kind of begging him to, merge the companies to allow him to use the AI. But it's all about how these tech billionaires, they're so removed from the day to day that most people experience in the world, including the consequences of their actions, like their social media networks and what it was doing with all the misinformation, that it kind of explores what that means to feel both detached from it and as though the consequences can never touch you, and being in this luxurious surroundings in the mountains. And it all winds up with, a conflict between the friends over this dispute about whether they're going to do this deal. And they just have these constant galaxy brain type of moments, which are just hilarious and also just sort of absurd too. So I don't know. It's like I think about an hour and a half movie. So it's a pretty easy one. Steve Carell is in it, which is great. I highly recommend checking it out because there's, who else is in it? There's a bunch of other great actors in it that, are worth checking out. But yeah, that's it for me for this week.
Nice.
I think Mountainhead is a good one. And you know what? We're coming up on 4th of July, Federico.
Okay.
So we've got an Unwind Deal, which is Independence Day and Independence Day Resurgence. It's a 2-pack for only $8 instead of $25. So I thought I would recommend that. It's a cheesy movie, but it's got a lot of good action. It's a good, fun summertime blockbuster. And it's called Independence Day, and the 4th of July is coming up in America. So that's one. And I actually did stumble on one other one. I got a bonus pick, which is Furiosa, which is a movie that I had recommended in the past. I didn't realize, but there's something called the Black and Chrome edition. And I have not watched this yet, but I watched the trailer. And this movie looks fantastic in black and white. I really, really liked it. So this one you can get for $5 now, which is kind of a no-brainer. $5 instead of $20. So that's kind of a neat way to re-experience that movie in black and white, I think. So I'm going to be picking that one up and maybe watching it over the holiday weekend next weekend.
All right,
Federico.
Yeah.
I guess that's it for this week. You can find us over at the all-new, shiny MacStories.net. Go there and load some pages because they'll pop up just instantaneously for you. And you can find us on social media. Just look for @Viticci, that's VITICCI, and @John Voorhees, JOHNVOORHEES. Talk to you next week, Federico.
Ciao, John.